Hello, I don't know about you, but I tend to make some pretty dumb impulse decisions. Just in general, but especially with buying things, and especially buying books. Sometimes I walk past and I just am in a book buying mood, and when I get back home with it, I go, what the heck were you doing? Like, I don't know. So, I thought I'd share some of my dumbest book impulse buys with you. Alright, I have a list on my phone, so that's why my phone will be held in this video. And a lot of these books have been either given away or packed. I think I kept at least one of them, which has been packed. So I can't show them to you, but I will put pictures up on the screen, probably over here somewhere, and you will see them. Well, the covers of them anyway. So, some of the dumbest impulse books. Oh. Alright, one of the books that I have, I actually love this book, but it was a really silly buy. I don't know why I did this, but basically I think it's called something like Coco Chanel, and it's the story of Coco Chanel, but like in illustrated drawings. Now look, the reason I bought this, it's so freaking beautiful. The illustrations and like the cover inside it is just so gorgeous. But the reason it's a dumb impulse book purchase is because A, I'm probably never going to read it. B, I don't care about Coco Chanel, and C, it was so freaking expensive. I don't have a coffee table. I don't have a coffee table. It's the only one I own that would even be close to a coffee book. It was so dumb to buy it. Yeah, it is beautiful, gorgeous, but it was pretty stupid. The next one, which was a dumb impulse buy, was called Double or Nothing, and this is technically like a 007 book, except that in this particular book, 007 is missing or dead or something like that, and he's not in it, and it's basically the other 00 agents. Yeah, I hated it. I read probably 4 chapters. I was done. The characters I didn't like. I really only show up for a Bond book for Bond, and he wasn't in it, so neither was I. It was pretty violent and awful, and the characters were just, didn't like them. So that's why it was dumb. The next one I have, I've talked about in other videos, Gracie and the Grump by Mariana Zapata. I wanted to try a Mariana Zapata book, and it was probably I was going to say the wrong choice, but really they're probably all the wrong choice. I hate that he's mean. She's, just a snappy. I didn't care. It's essentially a book about a superhero who lands in some chick's backyard, and she has to look after him because he gets hurt, and yeah, there's other stuff happening, but like it's technically like a slow burn romance. Yeah, it was just not my vibe, so I was out. Okay, another, oh gosh, my dumbest purchase. Okay, so the Inheritance Games series, I bought the second book first, realised it was part of a series, then bought the first book. I hadn't read either of them, and the last book came out. I had heard about it all, and I was like, oh, you know what, the last book's out, I'll get it while I can. I hadn't even read the series yet, and I'd bought all 3. And then when I did read the first book, I decided that I didn't want to continue the series. So I bought a book I never read. That's great. I should have waited. I really should have waited. The reason it's dumb is I just should have waited. I would have not wasted that much money. So there you go, that was one. Well, the covers were really nice, I will say. The next one that I have, which was kind of a stupid purchase, is called Murder Most Fancy. I actually have this book and it's over there. I'm just debating whether I go get it. Okay, Murder Most Fancy by Kelly McCord. Why was this a dumb purchase? Well, I bought this because I was just randomly at, a store, and it sounded like it would be fun or funny or interesting. It is huge. I don't know what this trend of but look, the font is gigantic. I didn't read the trigger warnings for this, should have. And also when I did try to start actually reading it, I didn't like the main character. It didn't really gel with what I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, it was a no for me. The next one that I got was actually a book story continuation, I suppose, or extension of Firefly. I love Firefly. It's such a fun show. And this book in particular sounded like potentially it would be the best one. I was at like a bookstore and saw that they did books. I had never heard that before in my life. Was very excited about it. And when I got home, I realized that I hadn't read the back properly, and it was about a ghost ship, and I don't do ghosts, and so it sounds like it's going to be pretty intense. It's written by a horror writer, I think, so it was a pretty dumb purchase. I didn't pay that much attention, and I really should have. So I'm still keeping it, and I will probably attempt to still read it at some point, but it was pretty stupid. Okay, the last book that I am talking about on my list of dumb impulse purchases is a book that appears like an independently published, but seems to have a publisher on it. Anyway, it feels very indie published. It's Anathalion, and it's by H.A. Pruitt. This is a fantasy. I believe it's a Christian fantasy, I think. So here's the deal. I can't even pronounce the name of this book. It was on sale, so I did get it. It's a fantasy book, but at the same time, I'm really only meh about it. It's somewhat interesting. I think there's some sort of dimensional situation happening, and this hand-drawn picture on the front, which makes it look super fresh, has to do with the plot in some way. I don't know, just completely feeling meh. Which is not how you want to feel about a book. Yeah. I'll read it, but I really think that I need to try and actually buy books that I'm genuinely interested in, rather than I think potentially could make it. Well, those are some of my dumbest impulse buys. I think technically on my list I also had Shatter Me, but I don't know why that was dumb. I don't know why I put that on the list, because I feel like I actually will like that. I've read some of it already, so I don't know why that was stupid. I quite liked it. But anyway, that's my list of dumb impulse purchases. What have you impulse bought? What have you impulse bought? And why was it dumb? Let me know. But otherwise, thanks for watching. See you in the adventures.